This video was adapted from an article written by Amber Winston on mash.com. I made it my mission to sample nearly every burger that Burger King offers, and a few things caught me off guard. I'm about to break it all down and rank them from least to most impressive, so you can skip the guesswork. You might assume the classic Burger King cheeseburger lands at the bottom just for being plain, but honestly, I found it genuinely disappointing the moment I took a bite. Don't get me wrong, it still delivers that signature smoky, flame-grilled flavor, which I'll give it credit for. What really drags it down isn't the taste itself, though. It's the texture and overall mouthfeel that left me feeling unsatisfied. If I had to sum it up in a single word, it would be dry. My first bite was mostly bread, with barely any patty to speak of. The toppings were minimal, though occasional bursts of mustard were a welcome highlight, complementing the smoky beef nicely. And forget about the usual onion, tomato, and lettuce trio. You only see those on Whopper-style options. You might spot the occasional pickle here and there, but that's about it. All in all, while I used to adore this classic BK cheeseburger as a kid, the grown-up version gets a firm thumbs down from me. After trying Burger King's Bacon Burger, I have to admit, the bacon really stands out. The strips aren't the thickest, so it's not exactly the most indulgent bacon I've ever had, but I appreciate a bacon that's full of flavor, and this one hits the mark. As for the regular bacon burger itself, I'd say it's solid, though it didn't quite become my top pick.
I'm just saying that with me, you always have it your way. Because girl, I am made to order.
At first glance, this burger doesn't look too promising. It's got just a tiny dab of ketchup on 2 small buns, a few pickles, some bacon, and a slice of cheese. There's a hint of mustard too, but not enough to really register. When I took a bite, the bacon flavor actually came through nicely, which was a pleasant surprise. Still, that dry mouthfeel from the original cheeseburger returned, and the lack of other condiments made it hard to enjoy fully. The end result is a rather dry little burger that's carried mostly by the bacon. It's not as disappointing as the standard cheeseburger, but it's definitely not topping my list of BK favorites. The double cheeseburger was a welcome change after sampling some of the less exciting options on BK's menu. While it's one of the more modest offerings, it looked appealing with plenty of thick, gooey cheese. That said, once I took a bite, I wasn't blown away, though it definitely beats the classic cheeseburger. This burger comes stacked with 2 patties, 2 slices of cheese, pickles, ketchup, and mustard. The flavor wasn't bad at all. The cheese helped keep it from feeling as dry as some of the others, and the grilled taste of the beef came through. Still, compared to a Whopper, it did feel a bit on the dry side. Personally, I prefer the double cheeseburger from McDonald's over BK's version. Surprisingly, this ended up being my 4-year-old daughter's favorite, which I honestly didn't see coming. But after trying Burger King's Rodeo Burger myself, I can understand why. It's one of the cheaper items on the menu, and judging by how it looked, I wasn't expecting much. The burger appeared small and floppy, the barbecue sauce barely made an appearance, and the onion rings seemed flat and soggy. Still, after my first bite, I was pleasantly surprised. Reviews of the Rodeo Burger are pretty mixed. Some people love it, others not so much. I'd say I fall somewhere in the middle. Considering the low price, I actually think it holds up pretty well. If you enjoy a simple barbecue-style sandwich, I'd even recommend giving it a try. Just don't expect it to rival a high-end barbecue burger, but for just a few bucks, it's definitely a solid little pick.
Oh, I love Burger King, don't you?
One thing I think could make the Rodeo Burger even better is a slice or 2 of bacon. Also, a heads up, my daughter thought the barbecue sauce was pretty spicy, though I personally didn't find it that way. Either way, if you're buying this for kids, especially those sensitive to spice, you might want to exercise a little caution. The Triple Whopper tries hard, and since I'm a fan of the classic Whopper, it might surprise you that I wasn't that into this supersized, artery-busting version. It's not that I dislike lots of meat. I actually do, but the Triple Whopper takes it too far. The sheer amount of beef ends up overpowering the burger in a way that just doesn't work. If you're all about plain burger patties, go for it. But if you were hoping for the balance of toppings alongside the meat, you're out of luck. You'd think more meat would mean more fixings, but BK kept the toppings the same as a single Whopper. The result is a frustratingly meat-heavy burger that lacks the extra flavor boost you really need. This one didn't win me over. But for a hardcore, meat-only carnivore, the Triple Whopper could definitely hit the spot. Part of the challenge in ranking the Texas Double Whopper on my Burger King list was that it's genuinely a solid burger. The real question is whether it lived up to its Texas name, and that's where it falls short. Sure, it's a Whopper at heart, so you get the standard toppings and condiments, which is fine. But I feel like BK could have gone further than just a few slices of bacon and some jalapenos to really make it stand out. Don't get me wrong, the sandwich is good, and the jalapenos add a nice touch of heat that sets it apart from the regular Double Whopper. But beyond that, The bacon barely makes an impression, and there aren't any other bold additions, like barbecue sauce, onion rings, pepper jack cheese, or grilled onions, that scream Texas to me. If it were up to me, a Texas Double Whopper would go all in on toppings and flavor. As it stands, the jalapeno and bacon just aren't enough to make me want to order this one again. I was really looking forward to the BBQ Bacon Whopper Jr., but honestly, the flavors didn't quite come together. It offered a distinct twist compared to the classic Whopper Jr., but not enough to justify ordering it again. One major downside for me was that the bacon and barbecue sauce barely stood out. As someone who takes burgers seriously, whenever I see barbecue bacon on the menu, I expect the bacon and barbecue sauce to take center stage flavor-wise. Here, though, the bacon and barbecue sauce, while decent, got overshadowed. The mayo, lettuce, onions, and tomato ended up masking those signature flavors, leaving my taste buds a bit puzzled. Like with the Texas Double Whopper, I realize I have a particular expectation for what flavors should complement barbecue and bacon, and the traditional Whopper toppings just didn't match that vision. At least Burger King wisely skipped ketchup and mustard. Overall, it's still enjoyable, but there's enough missing to keep this from being a burger I'd go out of my way to buy again. The Double Whopper is undeniably a solid Burger King offering, and I honestly debated whether it deserved the top spot on this list. After a few bites, though, I concluded it wouldn't quite claim number one, but it still earns a high ranking. What makes the Double Whopper stand out is that it's essentially the classic Whopper, just amplified. You get the same crisp lettuce and onions, juicy tomato, and signature condiments that make the original so satisfying. So why didn't it take the crown? The double beef patties tend to make the burger slightly drier than the single, and as you probably know, I'm not a fan of dry burgers. That said, it's far from unpleasant. In fact, it ended up being one of my favorites on the list. In the end, if you're someone who loves a sandwich with a strong beef flavor, the Double Whopper is a great choice. Personally, I enjoy the flavor of the beef paired with all the classic toppings, so I still lean toward the original single patty over the double. The Whopper Jr. is a modest little burger. It's noticeably smaller than the original Whopper, but it still delivers when it comes to flavor. Some people grumble about the size, but to me, it's exactly what you'd expect. After all, it's a junior version. You still get the classic mix of pickles, onions, lettuce, and tomato, plus the usual ketchup, mustard, and mayo. I really enjoy the familiar taste of the Whopper here, and personally prefer it over the more complicated flavor mix of the BBQ Bacon Whopper Jr. There's no barbecue sauce throwing off the balance, and the traditional condiments hit my taste buds just right.
Stop treating me like I'm on the kids' menu.
You get your buns downstairs right now.
Maybe it's just me, but I'd say the Whopper Jr. easily earns the third spot on our list of top BK burgers, even if it's on the smaller side. The Bacon King really caught me off guard flavor-wise. Like I said before, I'm a huge bacon fan, and while Burger King's bacon usually hits the mark, I've often been let down by their bacon-focused burgers. When I first opened this monster of a sandwich, it was immediately clear. This isn't a burger for the faint of heart. Its sheer size is impressive, and the generous amount of cheese really stood out. It gave me major double cheeseburger vibes from BK, but on a much bigger scale and loaded with crispy bacon pieces throughout.
All right, we're gonna take you for the tour. First floor, bun. Second floor, 2 patties. Third floor, penthouse, 6 strips of bacon, sesame seed root.
From the very first bite, I was blown away by how good this burger was, and it quickly became one of my favorites. The melted cheese paired perfectly with the bacon, and thankfully, there were no strong toppings, like raw onions, to interfere with the flavor. Plus, there was no mustard, and honestly, I enjoyed it even more without it. All in all, the Bacon King proved to be a seriously tasty choice. I'd order it again without hesitation, though I'd definitely need a big appetite to finish the whole thing. The Whopper claiming the #1 spot might surprise some, considering all the tempting Burger King options out there. But after a thorough taste test, I genuinely think the original Whopper stands as the best burger on the menu.
You see, Eddie, it takes 2 hands to handle a Whopper.
The smoky flavor of the beef patty hits just right, balanced perfectly with the toppings, while the rich mayo and ketchup dripping with every bite make this, for me, the ultimate BK favorite. Are there other strong options on the menu? Absolutely. The Bacon King was a close second, but it still doesn't compare to the timeless taste of the original Whopper. Call me simple, but when it comes to picking the best Burger King burger, the Whopper still rules.